All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is episode, I believe, 7? 8?
Running through.
Yeah, 8. Yeah.
Running through.
Just, dude, this season, so fast.
So fast.
Yeah. Are we going to stop at 10?
No.
Maybe.
We don't
I don't know.
stop. We don't stop. We just wait. Just wait. We just keep going.
He knows.
Exactly.
All right. So, Mecario's here. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm
Welcome.
doing well.
Welcome.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Even had to get your car jumped. Like,
Yep.
There was some wild scenario. It's apparently there's a blizzard about to happen.
yeah, it's not fun out today.
And there's it's wrecking havoc on vehicles. My car didn't start.
This
I had
morning?
to I had to get that 2 time. And then my alarm went off and I was like, I woke up the whole neighborhood. so I was already off to a bad start. But we bringing it back with the show. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, we're winding back. We're getting towards the end of maybe the season. I'm not exactly sure. I'm having a great time with what I'm doing right now. But for right now, we have Mecario here. How long have you been doing this? Because, like, taking this seriously.
Okay. Seriously, I'd say since 2015.
Okay. So it's been probably about 3 years.
Yeah.
3-4 years now where you're just kind of been hitting it home. So I kind of want to start with the fact that your style of music is definitely different from most of the artists that come in, but I wanted to interview you because, like I always say, I'm for the artists, I'm for the content. If I see something that I like, then, I'm going to go and grab it.
Cool.
So talk to me about kind of where you sit, I guess, in terms of the style of music that you make, kind of how that came to be, and how everything kind of just like fit together into what is like Mecario. I know it's a big one.
Yeah,
it's a lot to think about.
That's a very powerful question.
All right. So like, I'd say about 4 years ago, I came here for college at Lancaster Bible College.
Oh, okay.
And I actually started out rapping.
Oh.
But I didn't really feel like I was a good rapper.
Oh.
So I was like, all right, I need like a different lane or like something to kind of like spice this up.
Yeah.
So around like 2014, like the fall of that year, I wrote my first song, and it was a ballad. And I was like, maybe I should start singing instead of rapping.
we see this a lot. We see this a lot, and it's like it's one of those things where it's like you got to hit it to make the transition, and like I always like to see like when people.
It was like that 717 sort of
thing. Just really one of those things that you have to hit it, and I mean you've hit it obviously. I mean
Absolutely.
You're sitting here, you wouldn't be sitting here like if you like I don't.
I'm glad, I kind of stalked your Instagram. Pause. But, and then I saw that you market yourself as a songwriter, which I can appreciate.
Yeah.
I don't like people that box themselves in, especially if they claim to be artists. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But
so you started to feel like you wanted to sing, and usually that's something that people kind of just know. But for you, did you kind of have to train yourself into that, or?
Yeah. So like, I feel like I had to put a ton of work into it because like at first I sang like decently, but not that well.
Right.
So at school I did like choir and shows and voice lessons.
Oh, okay.
And like that stuff. And then by like 2015, I was like, all right, I'm taking this seriously. So I'm doing a brand. I'm doing like a certain sound, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like that summer is when I like wrote like actually good songs.
Right.
Because like for a while I've been like songwriting since like high school.
Okay.
But it's been straight trash from like that on.
So then what was it to kind of like what shifted then is kind of what I want to know. Just experience, life.
I'd say like experience, and I think summer 2015 is like that like point where I was like, all right, like I gotta like actually get good and like take this seriously. So I just like practiced and like did shows and hung around a lot of like friends who were like way better than me and just like took notes and tips and stuff and just like
it's good to have mentors.
Absolutely.
Mentorship's very important.
Yeah, like seriously, like
very important.
If I didn't have that, I would not be where I am right now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I think exactly what you just said. Like having that kind of like being the fact that you actively went to seek out and find some people that were definitely like you said significantly better than you, right? Surrounding yourself around that is not necessarily something that people do nowadays. It's kind of like, I got this for me, and this is like, I'm going to do this on my own, this, that, and the third. And people take pride in doing it on your own. And I think sometimes we take away, and I see it more and more as the years go on, just the idea of kind of just what art, and not just art, but like music is. Music has always been something that I think has been like meant to be collaborative, which is why when I like to make at least music, when I'm seriously, I'm going to write a song, like I definitely always want to perform with a band, because there's always so many different elements that people can kind of like. It's collaborative. You can do it on your own, but I always find that sometimes even just like with hip hop or anything like that, people in those moments where they collaborate, it's not just this is good for both of us. It gives like them to kind of just compete. I know a lot of rappers, like they'll be like, yo, like he slammed me on this, I can't let that happen again, and this is my own song, you know what I mean? So they'll like rewrite the whole verse, and then they'll just be like, all right, like I got him now, you know? And it's a tool, but that idea of doing it on your own, I think we really just need to learn to escape from. There's no point. This is supposed to be art. This is supposed to be something that you do together. That's what it always has been. You know,
I feel like a lot of the greatest artists of all time have just been prude, though. Like,
what do you think? Like,
I mean,
what do you mean?
Like Andy Warhol, just like walking around a party, like
but I mean, like that's that's a whole different situation. I'm talking about like musicians when it comes to working together.
Yeah, I can see that, and I see a lot of successful ones definitely be able to work together.
Yeah. People can say, "Oh, I did this on my." You can't. You really can't. You have to have some sort of like everybody. Like people say that like Russ will be like, "Yo, I do this on my own," but like
he has a whole team.
Dog, come on.
And they run up on people. At
You're
the
not.
salon.
Yeah, exactly. Who did he go? Whose people did he go punch?
Huh?
Whose people did he go hit? Who was it? What was that beef about?
Was
that him or Smoke Perp?
Oh yeah, that was in like a stairway.
That was Smoke Perp, I think. I don't think that was Russ.
Both of them.
Russ. Oh yeah, Russ does have hitters like that. That's very weird.
So what I'm interested in, because you've been in the city, so you've been in Lancaster.
It's been
I want to know the roots.
6 years now.
6 years.
Yeah.
Originally, where were you originally from?
I'm originally birthed in the great city of DC.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And raised
Shouts
in
to DMV.
Southern Maryland. Shout out to the DMV.
Shout out to DMV.
And I came here in 2012, and I've been here ever since.
Wow.
How you feeling on it? To be honest.
Yeah.
That's.
You ever think about going hitting your way to DC? Because that's a market.
Fun. Yeah, it's fun.
I've thought about it, and
they have actual club shootings out there. We don't.
Seriously.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'm a little. I don't know. Like at first, it was like, yeah, this place isn't really for me.
Right.
It's just not my scene. But then, like in like a few years' time, I was like, all right, okay, Lancaster, I see you.
Yeah.
Like it's cool
because it's progressed
up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think once there's more things like this around the culture, I think it'll just keep coming up more
Okay,
and more.
but pause on that for a minute.
Okay.
Because I like the idea of more and more of this stuff happening, but you gotta find the lane that's gonna be something that like is right for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Sure.
And it's
doubt.
I find that what I'm seeing now in terms of just like how things are shifting, I guess, in terms of like a platform for the hip hop like scene and things like that. I think we just got to be. I would advise anybody out there to just be kind of careful as to how you structure it, because I'm telling you from somebody like from experience, I'm seeing some of these pages, I'm seeing some of how these things go down, and like if you start putting on artists that are really not doing anything and really
if they're
don't
trash, I'm gonna
yeah
say
that's what I'm saying. Your platform's
we're
gonna
talk about
yeah
it.
your platform is gonna fail. I'm just saying like
we're gonna talk about it.
we only want
Well, we haven't seen that. I haven't seen it.
I have. I've seen the pages that throw up, you know. There's some of these I'm like, what?
Fair enough.
Like what so unless you're getting paid, homie, I wouldn't do it. But I'm just saying you will fail, because we did that. I mean, at least I did that. I learned from my mistakes of having some like really garbage artists on my show and how that turned out. I'm just saying it when you start to put yourself around the wrong people and you start promoting the wrong people, they take advantage of you, they jump off your back, they do things like the Shrap. you know,
Yeah.
is a very good example. And it's like,
shouts to IRG too.
yeah,
He unblocks me.
IRG, IRG unblock us, please, homie.
No, he did. He unblocked me.
Oh, he did. He didn't unblock me.
Kicked your
So
kid's charity.
it's okay.
Shouts to us.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
It's funny. He followed my ex-girlfriend after that whole fight, bro.
Ooh, God.
Yeah. Yikes. It's a fact. Anyway, but that's my 2 cents.
So-
Continue.
What do you really like? You gotta. This is a show. We could talk about anything.
Oh yeah, I have
So-
no problem with talking about anything.
What do you
I'll tell
think?
you.
What do you think about the state of hip hop shows right now in Lancaster, as far as the stuff that goes on, the Chameleon, Lizard Lounge, the limited artists that they get to come out here?
Mhm.
Like I mentioned before we started that, but you know,
I feel
how you
like the
feeling?
state of it is really not good.
facts.
I feel like there's a lot of politics and a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of good opportunities that don't really flesh out that well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't know how to find stuff or like make stuff happen.
Yeah.
At least that's what I've seen.
Right. I think, and this is why I asked you, and this is why I kind of want to, that, like, if you were to ever seriously consider up here thinking like, all right, I need a different play.
Yeah.
I need to do something else. I think for you to go back to your roots and go back into DC in terms of making music actually would not be a bad move for you for the type of music that you make, because I think it sells out there.
Yeah.
And I think that you would be able to find venues that have the culture of kind of what is out here, because I've been to a few that are out there that I think would actually really retain what you do very, very well. And I'm not saying that Lancaster doesn't. I just don't think Lancaster has a general idea of to how to appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like we say, art is so subjective.
Yeah.
And so like
But this is so conservative,
right,
area,
and yeah, it's
something
so
subjective,
hard. Like,
so
and we've had this conversation with like 717. I've talked about this with Armando before. It's one of those things, and like even Charlie, where it's like there's types of music that I know everybody wants to make, but like, is it going to be received here? See, this is where we go back to that, like, watch out for those artists that are kind of garbage, because they're just making this stuff that is going to sell to those kids in the high schools, because that's their market, which is smart. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's that is what's become the norm now. And I think is that kind of what you mean in terms of like, because these shows that are actually there and how small they are, not how small, how like they only happen once or twice a year.
Yeah.
They're very limited, and then we get garbage. And I'm not sitting here.
we
and,
talked about this on our last episode.
yeah, like, and it's
Yeah, I
like
saw it.
it's
Yeah.
like it's slowly just like not slowly, like some, like, dude, Summer Jam was so lit, loved it,
Yeah, I
man.
heard it
And
was
like
awesome.
what was the other show I went to? It wasn't even the Summer Jam event. Oh, the events like that we went to at the HMAC, like those are types of events
Oh,
that I
yeah,
want to
yeah,
see.
yeah.
That's the type of energy that I want to
Yeah.
see. Like, we went to this event, even though it was very small and like
Harrisburg.
super low key kick back, it was clearly something that
was
was just put
dope.
together like by a woman, and it was just like,
Very dope.
this is so chill. And we were
Yeah.
just like, we were playing pool, like
Yeah.
eating like wings and
Yeah,
shit, and just
everything.
like, yeah, bro, we
Yeah,
were
it was a
chilling. No,
spot.
for real.
Harrisburg's got
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm
culture
saying.
out
Like
there.
HMAC is
For real,
lit.
for
Yeah,
real.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and like we were like, how do we get something like this here and like get
Literally.
energy like that? Because like Summer Jam's energy was wild. That was crazy. I don't
Then
know
heard
what
the
that was.
opposite for Winter Jam.
Right, exactly. So
It was
and
cold,
maybe it was
like
just
the
cold.
season.
Maybe it was just
That's
cold.
it. It was.
Maybe it was just cold.
It was
Maybe
just cold.
maybe nobody wanted to come out because it was cold.
Oh,
I mean,
don't
or
know.
like
It was an indoor event.
I heard it gets cold around like 8:30, 9 o'clock. But like,
I heard that.
so usually people like to get home before it gets too cold. But yeah, I don't know. I think I just I want to see more of that. I want to see more of the energy. I want the positive. I want the positive energy behind the show. I want everybody to walk away from like an event and smile and not feel like, you know what I mean? And I feel you seem like kind of the kind of guy that, in terms of our conversations, you know, very driven with positivity, very
Extremely
driven, you know, just with a very like just pleasant mindset to be around. You know what I mean? Like, and even after we got off the phone, I told you, you know, I was like, I just talked to him for an hour. Like, you know, this is going to be a great interview. And I don't know. I just see the negativity that's all behind it with the politics is all.
True.
Yeah,
Do you agree with that?
I would wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah. What do you think, like, if you could pick like one or two things like you would really want to see change, like what would it be? Because we want to make the change eventually.
okay.
So like,
Okay. I'd say first being we just need a lot more opportunities.
more.
And
Frequency.
Absolutely.
by that, I'm not saying like, oh, let's like do like 10 shows a year and just invite out everybody and just like, shut it down. Like that's no. But like just like having more people make shows and like because currently there's a monopoly on shows
In Lancaster City.
and who
Absolutely.
who can like be in charge of them.
Right.
So
Very
I
true.
feel like if there's more people doing that, there builds competition. But then that
There's no
also-
competition to that, is what you're saying. That is
Currently,
actually
no.
gonna.
Yes.
No.
That was the best way to put that. The monopoly.
Yeah.
We haven't stated it like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
essentially what it is.
Yeah.
I just.
And I can't fault them for it because I can't.
Yeah.
They're making money.
Well, yeah,
like, I
no,
get it. I
it's
get
good.
it.
Like, it's good in the sense that it's something,
But it's that heavy culture.
but we
vulture
need
shit.
more. Like we just need more.
It's that.
It's that.
It's
heavy
the
culture
it's
vulture
like
stuff,
it's like
man.
it's the culture vulture shit that I think is what gets under my skin a little bit, is because you
It
don't
has to
really
be.
you don't have a general these guys don't have a general understanding of kind of what it means to have the actual it makes me so mad because there's no musicianship there.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
absolutely none, and I'm not like, and this
You're not
is
hating.
nothing.
Everyone left
No.
JBDK's set. I'm gonna say everybody left JBDK's.
That's facts.
set during
That's
Winter
facts.
Jam.
And I'm not
Like, it's a
sitting here
release-
and
it's an
being,
album release party type shit. That's
Yeah.
what they do.
but I'm not. No, I'm saying from a music
Smart,
perspective.
but
If I'm sitting here and I'm
it's good
doing a
set.
review on that,
Yeah.
like that's where I'm at. And when I hear that, and then it'd be one thing if like it was this monopoly that like people aren't getting paid, but their music is really really good. You know what I mean? It would seriously be one thing for me, because then it's like, okay, they're actually talented, and then that kind of the pros could potentially outweigh the cons in that situation.
$20.
Maybe I'm not saying that it's right. What I'm saying is that if we were to kind of just look at it from that perspective and say like, maybe if this was,
Yeah.
I'm not the culture vulture thing. I hear it in the music.
I'm not with it. That's just what I.
Not a lot of people are. Wake up call. I'm really sorry.
Pulled up
Yeah.
to those shows.
Yeah, I just feel like if there's a lot more opportunities with like different people that's like in charge of that, then it kind of like
Yeah.
puts a fair play out there.
Who do we put that in the hands of though? If it's not like take us out of the equation completely.
Yeah.
Who
Who's
Eh.
going to be the next person to step up and actually break the cycle
I
of
don't
the
know.
monopoly?
I
Because
don't
it
know.
seems like I hate to fault them for it, but they had a good setup with the Winter Jam and the Summer Jam. Very good setup.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, but I feel that's where I sit and I'm like, who? Because it's not just like, okay, there's people that could potentially do it,
Yeah.
but they've got their foot, these guys have, them just on the ground basically
Yeah.
saying like, we have you now. You don't really necessarily have a choice, and kind of bait them. Very like I've heard conversations like, dude, just like so like very manipulative, and it's not like it's not like it's
normal. It's not
yeah.
normal business manipulation.
Yeah, it's like-
when you're persuading someone in business, you're using acumen. You're using ability to give something.
Yeah, and it was only
But
for like
it's
when
only it goes one way.
like as a
It goes-
manager,
you know
right?
what I
Like
mean?
you're not talking to an artist, right? You're talking to management. You don't need to call me and be like, "Yo, what's up, baby?" Like, you gotta make sure that you got Venmo and all this. No, I know how to sell tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm very aware of as to how this works. If you have any questions about what we're
What
doing
is
or
it,
detail.
Venmo?
Yeah, like he was like make a Venmo, which is smart. This is smart. I like it because
guess.
it's easy. Because then I can just
Yeah.
say, "You want a ticket? Cool, Venmo me. It's on a list. I put a ticket aside. I don't need to go deliver anything. I sit back. I'm fine. I have the money sitting in a separate account, and as soon as I'm done, I think it's a smart plan.
guess so.
At the same time, though, we were already doing this. So why are you like we were all we're 10 steps ahead. So it's like one of those things where that competition. Who's it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be?
tell
Because
you.
everybody's. I feel like everybody's got it tied to this somehow.
But you know
Everybody.
what? You know what? I believe this is the first time people are really addressing it.
Welcome to the Rose Review.
That's,
Sucks.
that's really what it is. I'm
Sucks.
No, I'm happy
Man.
that we had to do this. Like, cause I live in Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
This is important to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We want to see
Music is important
we
to
want to
us.
see the
Yeah.
culture move forward.
Yeah.
We're sick of that.
We get like the thing is like and even when you came in, like we give a like we care about this place. I think too much
Yes.
to even because I mean, and I'm not saying it's too much. I mean, you know, with what I bring to the
got
community with this,
Passion.
the charity and things like that, that we care, and I can't sit and let something like that
We've
happen.
had
You know?
conversations about this show with the mayor of this city. That's how serious it is.
That's
Yeah,
That's how serious
yeah.
it is.
Like this
That
is like.
that's great. That is
Like,
good news to me.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Like, we literally had a 30-minute conversation with him.
Yeah, because we're trying to change this stigma, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's bull. It really
It's like-
is.
So
Yeah.
okay, so like, with that said, I feel like it's like that. It's like the 2 shows a year and politics and
Yeah.
image and this and that, but also like there's the fact of like in this area it's like super folk rock driven.
That conservative.
And it's like,
Yeah.
well, if we just like have a singer songwriter just come in and sing a few songs and like
Right,
coffee,
right.
then we're great.
Yeah.
But like hip hop,
Coffee.
Whoa.
Yes,
We-
yes. We talking at the
can't
wall.
do hip-hop, we can't do that. And it's like
But why? But why can't they do that?
because
Let's hear it.
when
Oh,
they
hold on
see
one
us-
second. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
So like on the flip side, when they're like, all right, let's see what you guys got, and then it's like, oh, well, it's like this and drama and this, and you're not organized and you're not on time and you're not doing this and you're not having
Sets a
sound checks,
precedent.
and you're not,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we look bad to them and they're like, so we'll just kind of keep you out there on the fringe because you don't really know what you're doing.
And I think that comes from a framing in their own mind about what they think about hip-hop shows in general.
Yeah.
Because what you see on the news is this club gets shot up.
Shooting.
Plexico Burr shoots himself in the
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah.
I don't think those things are actually together, but like what I'm saying is clubs, they get shot up. But like
Yeah.
if we're looking at percentages of shootings compared to amount of shows that people do,
Can we just be honest about this for a second? I mean, no, it's the area that we live in. It's the
Yeah.
conservative piece that comes from the outside of Lancaster that puts the
Absolutely.
money into fuel Lancaster. So
Correct.
when those people on the outside of Lancaster have this conservative mindset, they want to be able to go into the city that they believe that they necessarily pay for through taxes
Yep.
and other things like
They pull
that,
the
right? And they
strings.
pull the strings.
Yeah,
And then
pull
when
the
you have those
strings.
people pulling the strings, let's break it down to what it really is,
You
right?
get Tyler,
Hip hop
the
has
Creator.
not even that. No, take that out of the equation, right? Because it's
Good show, though.
yeah, good show. It's it's a matter of people who have conservative, mentality believe that hip hop is set specifically for a specific race, or a specific type of person, thugs,
True.
other things like that, and they can't see outside of what it has become. Because there was a time, let's be serious for a second, when literally just like old gang rap, all that bullshit, and it was popping. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
That's just what it was. It's not like that
People are
anymore.
scared of the lyrics. That's what
Exactly.
it is.
It's just they
Scared of the
don't.
lyrics.
I don't know.
I will say that there is a level of liability that comes with any show. But
That's true.
I imagine a hip hop show could, in a larger metropolitan city, have a higher liability than a country show. Maybe.
I wouldn't be
Maybe.
surprised if somebody
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm thinking about all the wild videos I've seen of people.
You got to be careful. We
most ridiculous.
we still live in Lancaster, so it's like one of those things
So
where
the people that are pulling the strings, they just they do something to this house. They're like, we're gonna slowly saw away at the foundation.
people picketing
Knock
outside
on-
the Rose
knock on
Review
wood.
office, which is also / my apartment.
I
don't know.
That's too funny.
There's
Too funny.
I don't know, but
I'm glad that we can have fun with it and be objective about it. Because if we couldn't, then I would be so upset and I wouldn't want to do this.
you got to look at yourself in the mirror every single day, and everybody does it. Every single person before they hit their head at night, they look at themselves at some point during the day, and that has to kind of relay back into your own life all the time. We have to analyze the shit like that we do and the things that we say. Yeah. We have to.
Most certainly.
Every single time that I turn these mics on, and before I even post anything, I have to analyze what we do and what we say, because
we say ridiculous things.
Because we do, but like we have to. There's still like there's a line, and there's a reputation that has to come with us.
Most certainly.
And now, when you have to look yourself in the mirror, and is that person that you see somebody that you want everybody else to see? Because if you are gonna put on a persona and be this person that you're not, at least live up to the expectation that you're gonna do a good job with it and leave a good impression. Because something that's not a good impression is not being on time, and not being organized. That's for everybody on this planet.
Yeah.
So in anything that you do, if you want to be respected, newsflash,
it's gonna take hard work.
It's not gonna take. I'm gonna go. Yeah, and especially like,
I don't know. I personally, this is just from me. I'm going through life.
Yeah. I
don't think I ever met somebody who is like disorganized, right, and unsuccessful. Or how do I want to say that? The most successful people that I know have the most organization in their life. That's the way I would put that.
Yeah.
Okay.
In most cases.
Cases.
There are outliers in every instance. There are people, like there's artists that have the greatest talent but might not have that extra push. Or they might have everything but not have that actual city behind them. Could be that. You know what I mean? I see a lot of people with that getting stuck in this city.
That's fair.
Would you see? Would you?
I feel like, all right, I might get in trouble saying this. Nah, cool. So like,
nah, bro.
Personally,
that's why we also have cut and post. So hey, that's why we'll never say anything that we don't want to say on the shows, because you see this right here, this filters everything.
This is North Korean censorship.
Go ahead.
So I feel like personally, like say like Charlie, I feel like he's easily one of the best spitters here, period.
Truly.
And he gets not as much play and like opportunities as like some of these other people that are not really that good.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff is also like,
what do you attribute that to though? Is it the politic thing? Is it the how long he's been in the game? Is it his age? Could it be something about his race? Could it be something as deep as that?
I haven't been involved in this scene enough to like make those calls yet.
Yeah.
I feel like it has a lot more involved with the politics, but also just like the lack of stuff.
Yeah. No, I have some,
and I could definitely.
Yeah, and I have some thoughts on that.
Okay.
For sure, but unfortunately our camera is shut off, so we're gonna take a break and we will jump right back into that as soon as we get back. Thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Sorry for the normal technical difficulty, but
we're getting so good at it.
Yeah, we also can't use our commercial anymore.
That's not true.
We can't, but
okay. So
give us a few episodes.
It keeps getting copyright flagged for some reason, but I own the rights to the music. I bought it outright.
Yeah.
I have the license. Stop,
I don't
YouTube.
know.
Stop it.
Yeah, and whoever the media group is, we should just put it in.
Cohen
we should put it in so they watch after that, and we're just like
YouTube. Stop. I also heard the policies are changing up a little bit.
That's true, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, back to what we were saying. So with Charlie, here's my thing with Charlie. I think that. And we've had these conversations. I've had these conversations with him before. I think that when you, it's one of those things where you can be so good at one thing, and like there's other areas where you lack. And I think that with Charlie, in terms of like just he can play shows. He can play shows. I just think that when you have such a moral, and this is where Charlie and I are similar, the moral compass that we both have when it comes to doing these shows and getting fucked over. I think it, and with that being one of the only opportunities, I think is really, really hard, because you don't want to jump into that. But when you do find out that you're getting screwed over, and you have those conversations, and you can have this conversation with Charlie for yourself. This isn't my place to say. I know that he has had conversations where he's, it has been very argumentative because he wants to get paid. So when it comes to that piece, I don't think that he's been given the opportunity to shine as much as possible. And I don't think that's necessarily something that is fully in his hands. At the same time, I will say that you also have to go and chase for what you want. And I know Charlie's hungry, and I know that I followed him to East Stroudsburg. That's a vlog that I have that like I might put together one of these days at some point. But I went with them. It was one of my favorite experiences with the show, or even creating any sort of content, just being around artists, because like wholeheartedly you get to see that they are hungry, and it doesn't matter how many people show up, and it doesn't matter to them. It's they want to do it for the art. And that is where we also get a little misconstrued, I think, because it's the piece of actually going and making something that's really, really, really good. And when you have a good head on your shoulders, unfortunately, sometimes those opportunities aren't given to you, but maybe they're for your benefit. And what I mean by that is with knowing that you're not going to get fucked over in that situation, like mentally, you have the ability then to kind of just either be a good guy or a bad guy in those people's eyes, right? Where it's like, if I'm trying to fuck somebody over, do you think I'm gonna go, look, I'm never in my life gonna screw Nick over or even try? Because when I'm in a situation, because
I'm too good at it, I would turn him around.
It's not even that he would turn me around. It's like, I know that I'm not necessarily, like, if I know for a fact that like Nick is smarter than I am, and I'm trying to bait him into something, I can't do that, because Nick has a really good head on his shoulders, and I'm, as somebody who's just going to get a money grab, I'm not going to chase after somebody like that, because I know that I can't rake him over the coals like everybody else.
That's a good point. Gotcha. That's a good point.
So that's where I think that really comes from. And I think with Charlie also going to school, we don't put that into play a lot, because there's not a lot of the artists that we sit down and we've talked with before, or anybody that I necessarily surround myself with, that is in school and doing this too. True. And that's in school, having a job and putting out music. I mean, and mixing and mastering your own shit, stuff, which then, I mean, I watched Charlie mix and master that whole last album. Like, wow. It was, and I didn't physically watch him do it, but we had talked about it. I was, through the process, and like, he would spend probably 2 or 3 days on a song. Yeah. And it's like, it's so crazy to me, because like, he had to put it in, and he put his finals first. Because at the end of the day, like, you also got to look at it from a realistic perspective, where it's like, go get this degree. I'm here for a reason, right? I'm not just going to dip out of here. And like we've said before, some of this, the best entrepreneurs and some of the most successful people in the world only had like a 2.7. 2.9, something like that.
Business Insider
article. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The school thing. And that's, it's so hard sometimes. Mm-hmm. It really is to balance.
I feel like that would do a lot more for your audience, though. But,
You'd think.
Yeah.
You'd think.
It goes
Sometimes
back
it
to
doesn't.
The politic thing.
Absolutely.
I really think so. I really think that was a huge piece.
Yeah.
That politic thing is that giant part.
But here at the Rose Review, we love Charlie.
Yeah. I went to high school with him.
Yeah.
We literally, like, I went to high school with him. Me and him. Yeah. Yeah, I knew him in high school. He tried to tell me that what album is that? To Pimp a Butterfly. The outro with Tupac, I thought it was a little corny. And I told him that. I told him that when we were in high school, and he was like, "Nah, man, nah." And now he's like, "You know what?
He sat right here.
You're kind of right.
He sat right here.
Pretty corny.
He sat right there. That's what he said. Yeah.
It's kind of corny.
I don't know.
I like the album though.
Yeah. Anyway,
speaking of albums,
yes,
and projects,
yes. So you have an album coming out shortly. Do we have a tentative date?
We have an official date as of Monday.
Do you want to push it now, or go for it?
Yeah, so the new album coming out March the 29th, 992.
3 days after my birthday.
Look at that.
That's also after my birthday, so cool.
No way. That's 26. Let's go.
There we go.
So yeah, that's it's coming, and it's pretty much done. It's
wow.
99% done.
Where are you recording that?
I recorded that at my friend's home studio up in Harrisburg area.
Okay, cool.
Harrisburg, West Shore, like that region.
Are you outsourcing for mastering, or are you guys doing that on your own?
He's actually doing that.
Okay, cool. That's always good.
Yeah,
I like in-house mastering.
In-house
I don't
mastering
like
is
the outsource because then you lose the touch because then it
same.
gets sent somewhere else and you're just like, what the hell did I just
It's
do?
like hiring a lawyer. He doesn't know your exact situation.
He just knows like some
But if your
details.
friend is your lawyer, then he can actually say, this is what happened. This is what happened.
Right.
Yeah, no,
This is what really happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's coming up,
Yeah.
and first single is out. So go and listen to that.
Yes. I also liked one of my favorites is is it Window Rain? Is that what it is?
Yep.
That one's one of my favorites. I was listening to that earlier today. It's
And
in
on
my-
what platforms can we listen to you on?
Oh yeah.
All of them.
All of them.
See, that's
Spotify,
the,
Google,
that's
Amazon,
the big distinction.
Tidal.
He said Amazon.
Amazon.
He said Tidal.
Pandora.
That's
Throw your
the-
diamonds up. Oh wait, sorry. I don't support diamonds.
See,
My bad.
that's the big distinction with a lot of the artists. We're starting to cut out. We're trimming the fat, so to speak.
Yeah.
With the people who only have a SoundCloud.
Yeah, last year it was
At
just like
least-
SoundCloud rappers, and
now
now
we're-
we're actually
Spotify. We're getting real
Yeah.
talent.
Nah, for real, we really are.
Not to understate our old guests because we love y'all, but
Some of y'all,
some of y'all,
some of y'all.
some of y'all.
A couple of you guys have changed your name, moved to different states.
All types of stuff.
It could have been probably our fault, but I don't know.
It's whatever.
That's okay.
It's whatever.
That's fine. But yeah, so what's do you have a specific do you have a story behind this album? Like what's
It's a
going
concept,
on? Okay, word.
piece. So like I say last year and some of the previous year, I was really trying to find a girlfriend. I'm just be wholehearted like
No,
we
let
like
it
the
out. It's
honesty.
all art, bro.
Appreciate the honesty.
and like I found it very hard to like find someone because I mean, for what it's worth, I spent a ton of time at like Telus and
Yeah.
like these like spots and stuff, and I'm like, all right, well, I mean, like I'm seeing people, but I'm not like finding anyone to really like date and like talk to. And
Right.
whatever.
Finding like an established connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's
like,
hard around here for
Very.
everyone.
it's very hard because all of my friends from school are like engaged, married, kids, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, I'm not trying to do all that per se, but I do like
you want
want
someone to hold you down.
somebody
No, yeah.
to just like
People
talk
our age
to,
are getting married.
chill with.
Facts.
It's
Having
weird.
kids and-
Seriously.
It's
Exactly.
weird having
like,
children.
Yo.
Yeah.
Like you guys are children.
Kids like-
having children. Like come
Like,
on.
what are
now,
you doing?
chill.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, like what? Why is this so hard? So I like stopped and I was like, all right, like what's going on in like pop culture and then in like real life that like makes dating so hard? And from there, I like got super pissed and I was like, it's time to write. So I just like wrote like 20 songs and I was like, all right, I might do like 6 and just do like a new project.
Okay.
So then from there, I think like the fall of 2017, I called Ryan. Shout out to Ryan, aka Carvello. And I was like, all right, man, like I basically just spent a whole year just kind of like dating around and hooking up and stuff. And I'm just like not feeling it. And I was like, it's time to kind of like sit down, talk, process, et cetera, et cetera. So we met, and from like that moment, he sits there and he's like, all right, Chris, so are you gonna like do something about it, or are you just gonna like sit here and like complain?
Like yeah.
And I was like, that will be my concept.
Right.
What is pop culture's perception of love, and how has that impacted me personally?
Oh.
So
Okay.
that's the
I
concept.
like it.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, so
Yeah.
like, what am I gonna talk about though?
Yeah.
And then all last summer, I just like wrote, scrapped,
Yeah.
saying like,
Because it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna write 20 songs and I'm just
No.
like, no, you gotta find
gotta
something
pick
that's
and
gonna be,
choose.
yeah.
You gotta pick
I like
and choose.
started basically from scratch. And I was like, all right, what experiences did I have? Experiences that like friends have had, and just like themes and concepts I see in like bars or like shows or cartoons or et cetera, and like how has that affected my like right now? So like each song is like basically about that theme. So for example, On the Rocks is about a girl I met at Telus who had a boyfriend and was like making mad moves on me, and then like a month later she ghosted me. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like I told you
just
from
a
jump,
wild
but, like,
situation.
I'm not trying to like
because it's so easy to dip out and ghost on people and nowadays.
Like,
and no one's like really like capturing that. I think it's really one of those things that like you can be an artist and try and go for that, but there's also artists that promote stuff like that that's necessarily negative. But I see where you're going.
Yeah, so like, of course, like that's not me, but like I'm like here actually trying to date, and she's just like, oh well, you're cute, you sing, you're black, I mean just sliding your DMs real quick. And it's like, no, like I'm actually like trying to like find someone. So like that's like the heartbeat of this project. And it's 7 songs. And we
hear that a lot. 7 songs.
7 songs. 7 is like the sweet spot right now.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
What are we looking on like length, average length of a song?
I'd say like 3:30 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I noticed that as people's attention span goes down with their phone, so does their music attention span. I'm talking like the mass. I know you guys, and I can attest to this too. We like listen to music, and we can sit down and we can listen to a 9-minute song. But the majority can't anymore. The majority cannot.
They can't.
Yeah, and that's so hard because you can create a piece in that length of time that could be so many different things. And like I even catch myself doing it sometimes where I'm just at like the 4-minute mark and I'm just like, you know. But no, I totally get what you're saying. I think. I'm really interested to kind of see for you as an artist, kind of what has really shaped you in terms of just like as more of, I guess, an inspiration or people you kind of look at in terms of like making your music and what type of style that you're going for.
Well, I think my biggest inspiration is Michael Jackson. That's
Michael
like top.
Jackson.
Like he's like the reason I like sing, dance, kind of rap. Like it's him. And then I'd say like currently it's a lot of Frank Ocean.
We love Frank.
Frank
James loves Frank. James is a big.
I can get behind that.
I am a huge Frank Ocean fan. My favorite meme right now that I saw floating around the other day was a picture of Frank Ocean sitting. And if you're a Frank Ocean like fan, you'll understand this. He was sitting like in a beach chair with sunglasses on, and underneath it said, "That wasn't very Knight's beat switch of you," and I lost my mind.
That wasn't very money of you,
dude. Yo, I'll show it to you after we're done here. Yo, it's funny, bro. I don't know. I love Frank. Go ahead.
Frank, Usher is just a phenomenal singer.
A lot of R&B.
How you feel about Daniel Caesar? Yeah.
Incredible.
Amazing talent.
Great voice.
Very great voice.
You know who Tuck is?
I don't.
We'll talk about that after too. We talked about Tuck last episode, but that kid's a talent. If you like music like that, oof.
Yeah, I've heard he's got pipes.
Animal.
Ooh. Okay.
Animal. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So like, I'm so like, how I songwrite, I draw from themes and like real life experiences, and then I try to like soundtrack life.
I feel.
Basically.
Yeah.
So like, say I'm like with friends and I'm just like chilling and playing.
You have
like,
something in your
2K
head
and whatever. I immediately like see like a scene. And like a thought.
Yeah.
And a sound, and I have to write it, like, or write something.
Yeah.
And I forgot who said that. Kid Cudi, actually, like back in 2009 or something like that. He said like, I want to make movies every song. It's like, yo,
an illustration.
That's dope.
Frank does a very good job of that. I'm sorry, I gotta get off. I gotta get off that, but
no, you're not speaking.
Yeah, like
you're speaking facts. That's true.
And I feel like that's what makes your songs timeless. Instead of like hopping on trains, like, oh, I'm trying to sound like Travis Scott because he's hot.
Right.
Like, no, I'm not trying to sound like anybody. I'm being myself.
Yeah.
But I'm also like trying to make real music.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's where I like get my stuff from.
Yeah. Word. I'm glad we kind of piece that together because I'm just as I've listened through your stuff, I was interested at least. Yeah. I heard I heard a lot of different like you have. I see what you're going for in terms of when you say Frank Ocean now and kind of like
I see the Michael Jackson.
I see the Mike too, and I think and maybe it might just be your character a little bit. I'm not exactly sure, or just like the way you deliver when you actually make music. Yeah. But I was, that's something we always like to ask our artists is because once we can start to kind of vision what you're going for, especially for me, like, especially if I really like the artist, like, it's one of those things that I'll double back and be like, yo, you hit the fucking mark on this if you did it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. So we have an album coming.
Yes.
We have anything else in the works? Figures. Go ahead.
I say, so the first single is out now. Second one is about to drop in like a month.
Okay.
And then I'm about to have a listening party.
Ooh.
Okay.
Here.
Can we be at that listening party?
You're most invited.
Okay.
Let's go.
Both of you.
All right.
Yeah.
Bet.
And then I'm trying to do a show at the Chameleon Club.
Oh, word.
With Juan and whoever else, like just put on a good R&B hip hop show because I have not seen that yet.
717 on,
yeah,
you gotta hit him, yo.
So just trying to like
he's killing it.
Just
yeah,
like kill it.
Yeah,
and we can definitely help you with bringing the artists there too.
Absolutely,
definitely.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have to change the battery pack so that we can actually close the show out normally. But yeah, give us 1 second. See, that seems to help. I think.
What the sign?
The sign, because then I can just fast forward and I don't have to listen. I know. I thought about it the other day when I was editing, and I was like, "Boom." Anyway, we're back from our last technical difficulty, unfortunately. So you have a single dropping. I like the Chameleon Club show.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I like it. We don't see a lot of the R&B esque kind of
definite
come to hit it out of the park. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, go chase after what you want. If you want to create that team, go create that team, homie. Gotcha. Yeah. Because, like, I think that you have the ability to do so.
I think so, too. You have that positive acumen about you.
Absolutely.
You definitely do that.
You know what I mean? Where to a point, I think, people, I think people will trust you a lot more.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I imagine you'd probably be on time.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, like, we've had people who have had difficulties with their cars and not texted us.
Yeah. Oh.
Like that's punctuality 101.
Yeah.
And he got it.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's not fun.
It's like that, like, I have this anecdote that I say, and we could pretty much leave on this. If you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
I don't want to leave on
that. But yeah. But
any shout outs you want to give before we take off here, man?
Shout out to Carvello and San Frank.
San
Charlie. Shout out to my mom and dad. Shout out to Mark.
Shouts Mark. Shouts Ben.
Ben. Skirt. Yeah, that's it.
Shouts to mom and dad for real. Pull up to the Rose Review one time.
Pull up to the show. You can.
You get free water.
Access.
We'll give you free water.
Public access station.
Yeah, no.
This is Lancaster Public Access.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for making the trek.
Very nice to meet you.
Yes, guys. Be careful getting home in the snow. Yada, yada, yada.
There's a blizzard outside.
Of course. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.